Jordan, you will stay with us as we move on to our next news. UK's Home Secretary moves to ban Palestine Action as a terror group to fight back in court. In a swift move that could see pro-Palestinian campaign group Palestine Action banned by the end of the week, Britain's Home Secretary Yvette Cooper formally began the process to designate the group as a terrorist organization. The decision comes after activists from the group vandalized 2 planes at a British Air Force base in southern England earlier this month. Cooper told Parliament that the group, along with 2 others, the neo-Nazi maniacs, murder cult, and the Russian imperial movement, met the threshold for proscription under the Terrorism Act. Palestine Action is pushing back. The group announced it will challenge the move at an urgent High Court hearing in London. It calls the ban an attack on free speech and democratic freedoms, as is seeking an injunction to halt the ban. Co-founder Huda Amori warned the ban would have far-reaching implications for freedom of expression and protests in the UK. Rights groups, including Amnesty International, have backed the challenge. The government argues the group's long history of criminal damage, including actions at a Thales defense plant in Glasgow and against Israeli-owned Elbit Systems in Bristol, justifies as its proscription. But Palestine Action insists its activism is non-violent civil disobedience aimed at exposing Britain's support for Israeli military actions. The group says spraying red paint on warplanes and disrupting arms factories is not terrorism. Parliament is expected to debate the measure on 2nd and 3rd July, given Labour's commanding majority. The ban could take effect as early as July 5th. Now we are going back to our discussion with Jordan Cope. He's a Middle East expert joining us live from Erfurt, Germany. Thank you, Jordan, for staying with us. Now, Palestine Action and rights groups call this an attack on free speech. And earlier in discussion, you mentioned that you are for free speech, but where should the line be drawn between non-violent civil disobedience and acts that risk national security or public safety in this case?
These are certainly acts that violate not just national security precedents, but they also threaten the foreign policy of the United Kingdom. This is not a matter of free speech in the slightest. This is a matter of engaging in illegal sabotage efforts, illegal acts such as vandalism, illegal acts such as trespassing. One's free speech is no longer free speech when it violates another's rights. And what is happening here is not speech, it's the action, it's the vandalism, it's the trespassing, it's the threats. It's literally creating obstacles to one's national security apparatus and resources. This is not free speech in the slightest. They are gaslighting people in terms of what is actually free speech. These people do not respect the free speech of others. They don't even respect the property of others. These people are, unfortunately, very inappropriate in the way they go about things, and unfortunately they need to be educated as to what the law is, because they don't even know what free speech is and what the protections are under the law. And it's a shame that they continue to obstruct civil society and continue to obstruct the government and its means of operating when it comes to protecting citizens of the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Jordan, for sharing that insight.